Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Let's see, what shall we talk about today? Anyone has any questions or comments? It looks like we survived the heat wave. 90 degrees here in Los Angeles. Now it's to the 80 degrees, so it's a lot more manageable. 90 degrees is excessive. All right. Let's see. Is the world in California, at least, is becoming an EV world? Because the governor of California declared that by 2035, there will be no more new combustion engine cars for sale. So basically EV, hydrogen, or whatever, or you fly on your own power. Okay, but so it's becoming EV world, and so that's what when I read that, the thought came to my mind. If it's in EV world, how are we going to survive? We are paranoid about range, yes? If you drive an electrical vehicle, you always worry about range, yes? How far you can drive, and in particular, how quickly you can recharge your battery. Right now, on average, it takes about 35 minutes or more to recharge your battery, yes? Unless you go to supercharger station where you can charge your car up. Right now, current technology takes about 20 minutes to get you up to 80% of your battery capacity. That's called a supercharger. On average, for you to fill up your car, gasoline car, takes about 5 minutes. In the EV world, and the fastest way for you takes a lot longer. However, it assumes two things. Number one, need a supercharger station. And that's why I thought of it, and I said, well, it turns out BLI temples are supercharger stations. You come here, you charge up so quickly, than otherwise. Make sense? Because it's a difference between superchargers and regular chargers. Especially ones at home. Yours is like take 8 hours, 12 hours, 50 hours to get a full charge at home, right? Whereas supercharger, you make the effort, you have to drive there, and you charge up a lot quickly. Henceforth, the notion of superchargers. So far, so good? Okay, so we should know where the supercharging stations are, okay? And I assure you, you go to any station near BLI stations, it's all supercharger stations, okay? Just for your reference, okay? Thank you very much. Please control yourself. And what else is missing in the equation, Brady? 5.
Master, I'll tell you, this is all predicated on the fact that there will be a climate that can support human life here. We may not have any water in 2035, and there'll be a mass migration outward to areas of the world that can support human life.
All right, the voice of gloom and doom. Okay, it's so true, okay? Assuming we're not going to address it today, and it's just a huge concern. Hopefully, it will have to be taken more seriously, but there's not much we can do about it today. I'm talking about superchargers today. Okay, Okay, let's not get carried away with the gloom and doom of the world. As long as you're there, let's talk about the war, nuclear war, and so forth as well. Okay, it's always there those dangers there. But in the EV world, what else is missing in that picture? The supercharger stations, and there's something else that's missing to complete the picture. Huh? Anyone? The reason I talked about it as I was sitting here today, meditating and looking at you, say, what on earth am I going to talk about today? And I notice that the people, the attendants, the people who come to the temple, actually, you've been improving. And I know I've been asked not to talk about people's improvement because it makes this particular person very, very unhappy. Okay? Because you're improving, he's not. Okay? Whatever. Okay. But you've been improving. Especially makes me so happy that I've seen many of you for a long time, and all of a sudden now people started, they all of a sudden decided to come more regularly to the temple, and they're improving. It shows, okay? It shows. I can tell it pleases me to no end to see that, and every now and then I like to brag about it. It makes a difference when you're improving, and that's exactly the same thing happening in an EV world. In order for you to take advantage of the supercharger stations, if those of you who don't have Teslas and those, oh good Lord, Teslas, why would you drive a Tesla? Do you have a Tesla? Huh? Hey, you? Oh, okay, good for you. Yeah, overpriced for the old technology. Okay? As a digression, I talked to some business people recently and trying to enlist their services. And I was so disappointed because these people, they are doing good business, but they're not delivering. I came from that background, price performance. In our world, where I came from, you try to build a better mousetrap. You know what I mean? In the marketing world, better mousetrap. Okay, the mousetrap. It's old technology, and that's necessary. Without mousetraps, will be Brady will have another big problem to worry about besides climate change. Okay, lots of mouses, lots of mice. Okay, but anyway, so in a business world where I came from, you go into business with the objective of building a better mousetrap. That's in a way your contribution to society. Yes, you're offering something better for society at a better price performance. Yes. I'm very disappointed at such a business people that prey on small business people who don't know enough about business concepts, how to run businesses, and plenty of companies who thrive off your ignorance. Instead of helping you, they're helping themselves. To me, it's disgusting. I would not want to make a living by preying on other people's ignorance. Okay? To me, it's totally disgusting. I'm turned off by that. I want, all my entire life, I'm proud of the fact when I do something, is to try to build a better mousetrap. Otherwise, there's no point in me doing it. Okay? It's called professional pride. I find it so disgusting, these people. They prey on other people's ignorance. Okay, and they make a great living doing that. To me, it's totally disgusting. So anyway, and then so the world as I envision it is a world where I hope you, as you come to the temple and you practice, you will also, in your own little corners of the world, would strive to build a better mousetrap, contribute to society, make a difference, instead of just exploiting other people's weaknesses. Okay, we need to, we have this ideal to leave a mark behind us and leave a contribution so that our passage here in this world has not been in vain. Yes? And so anyway, I was disappointed for quite a while that that's how a lot of people in the world behave. Me. They only think of themselves, how to stuff the pockets, gain some fame and profits, and only at the expense of others. And that's destructive. You're not going to leave a better world for your children, for your nephews and nieces and grandchildren. What's the matter with these people? Haven't the parents taught them? That's why I like to influence you. Price performance. Build better mousetrap. That's what we do, quietly. So I'm very proud, for example, to hear of our disciples. And they're able to, in this these times of where people are quitting and the companies are understaffed and the workers are overstressed, they are delivering performance. They are continuing to deliver and stick around and help more and take over more quietly. That's what we do. That's what we preparing ourselves for, quietly. So instead of quitting, instead of being stressed out, our disciples are taking on more responsibilities, helping their colleagues more, be more of a pillar for their family when their spouses can't take it and are stressed out and so forth. They are remain a pillar for the family as well. I'm very proud of that. That's what we're about. That's why we're doing this. Okay? And anyway, going back. So what is required in this? What's missing in the picture about the supercharger? What's missing is your car, your EV, must have this fast charging capability. Yes? See, you don't drive EVs yet. I don't like EVs, but it looks like I will have to buy EVs pretty soon. Okay, by 2035 at least. Hopefully, Brady will still be around, and I'll be driving an EV as well. But so, and again, the analogy is that. How do you make yourself create a fast charging capacity? Let me give you the answer, okay? By coming to the temple regularly, that's what it takes. On the weekend, go there and, religiously, practice meditation, listen to Dharma talk, go home, okay? And that's all you have to do. Listen more to the Dharma. You have more time. You drive to work. You drive to on your vacation. Drive to a restaurant. Listen to the Dharma talks, whatever. Okay, that's going to help you tremendously. That will create a supercharging capability in you, miraculously, naturally. You don't have to think about it. Okay. Yes, Q&A.
Hi, Masters. This is In. actually have a EV. It's not a new one. I have a Nissan Leaf.
Oh, you have those discontinued EVs, like a Leaf?
It's not discontinued. It's not. It's working.
But it's not a Tesla.
No.
Okay, good girl.
So I think you hit the right point about the charger. I noticed from me having my own car that I'm limited on certain charging station because of the different type of charger. So I have the Chatamo, and I think there's one other charger and it won't work. So I have to only go to a specific one that has that capability.
Yes, precisely. Let me interject by saying that it's the same. You go to a temple, you go to a supercharger station. It's different from going to another non-charger station. Continue, please. A little bit of advertising you put up with me.
I think if they're gonna have more EV in California, they need to have a universal charger available that fits for everyone, because it's just not doable.
Yes, I agree. The thing is that right now, I think it's that the way it's going. The government, they imposed on us driving EVs and non-combustion engines, cars. Then they have to make sure that we have charging stations, a lot more available that work. Yes.
Yes, definitely.
So that's what I think they're quietly committing to. Then they're competent, trust me. For them to have that vision and dare to declare that, I'm sure they're preparing for it as well. Yes?
Well, Kevin and I was probably going to buy a new EV next year sometimes.
Don't buy a Tesla. They're overpriced.
I know. I told Kevin that too. So we're thinking of a Rivian.
What?
It's a
Peruvian?
Rivian.
Oh, Rivian. Oh, I thought I heard Peruvian. Peru has an EV as well. But think American as well. I heard that the Bolt, the cheapest one available right now, it's EV. Okay,
the
25,000.
American.
Huh?
The Rivian is actually an American company.
Yeah. The Bolt, and again, I have no vested interest with the Bolt, but call me. But for $25,000, you get the tax rebate, and it's a decent car. And so I hope you be the first ones to buy it. I'm watching you and see how reliable it is. But now that we have San Jose and San Francisco, we need to go back and forth quite often. So we're considering an EV for our people as well. Yes, 4.
From Yuanzhi, there's a company in San Diego called Aptera Motors where the car can also charge by solar.
By solar, yes. Okay, all those things except for Tesla technology. Yes, 6.
Master, there is an EV supercharger station in Coalinga.
Coalinga, only one?
That I know of.
Actually, there are quite a few supercharger stations up and down the Freeway 5. Okay, but the concept here, I need to warn you, I do not like to sit on top of these huge batteries for a long time. That's not good for you. We are magnetic creatures. Yes, that's how we orient ourselves. Your sense of orientation is from your magnetism. Okay? Your nature is magnetic. So that's how you have a sense of direction. Okay? And you sit on top of these huge EVs, batteries, they mess up your magnetism. That's why I don't like it. Personally, I do not like it. Okay, half an hour, 45 minutes, no problem. But longer than that, now you're talking about some potential damages. Okay, it's not meant for long distance driving. Okay, short distances is okay. Be careful about that. Okay, and do not trust Elon, those people who sell you about how great the EV is and it's no harm to you. It's all baloney. They don't know what they're talking about. In particular, Elon has been overselling his autonomous driving, charging you $10,000, $20,000 for it. It's a scam. Okay, Elon, cut it out. Shame on you. You'll never be able to achieve it. I'll tell you right now. Never, ever. Yes, 4. Don't buy into it. Don't waste your money and kill yourself. Risk your lives. Yes, 4.
From Cordelia, Master, in the Heart Sutra, Master said we need to make offering to the Dharma to practice it. Please teach us how to make offerings to like 42 hands and eyes and the Vajra Sutra.
Your coming to the temple is making offerings. Your mind is helping others make offerings. When you practice the 42 hands and eyes, you're making offerings. When you're practicing Chan, you are making offerings. Okay? You're practicing the Dharma as an offering. Okay? Don't worry about it. And naturally, we don't tell you about making offerings in general. It's because it happens naturally. You don't have to worry about it. Your mindset is that when you're there, naturally your heart opens up and say, okay, I like to help with this, I like to help with that. That's making offerings naturally. You don't have to be too preoccupied with that. Okay? And same thing on the outside. We shouldn't try to constantly pick your pocket and ask you to make more offerings, help with this, help with that. That's wrong from our part, especially from the monks and nuns who keep on thinking about ways to get you more involved and get more money out of you. That's what I call dirty-minded people. Okay? So please don't worry about it. You're practicing, you're doing it very well so far. Continue. That's good enough. Okay? All right. Any other questions and comments? 8.
Master, about the magnetic field problem. So let's say you damage that. Is there a way for us to recover from it?
Absolutely. You have to recover. You meditate. When you meditate, your magnetic field becomes stronger. Okay? When you expose to all the stronger magnetic field, you're going to be affected. That's simple as that. Okay? Don't worry. When you meditate, okay, that's one of the better ways that you can protect yourself against those batteries. In particular, the transmission line, power lines in our neighborhood, those are bad stuff. Stay away from them. Do not buy houses near them. They're bad news for you. You're going to have problems when you are pregnant. Your children have a hard time growing up. They're very, very bad for you. And, it's so obvious to me, and yet the engineers, the scientists, the government, politicians, no one brings it up because they suppress that kind of information, okay? Because they receive donation for such companies, okay? It's baloney. Don't trust these things. These electric things, they're bad for you, okay? Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. If I still have to drive as much as I do, going up to Northern California, and let's say I end up having an EV car someday,
yes.
How can I protect myself? I mean, if I'm the only one in the car and I have to drive, what can I do?
Would you consider flying? We are different in that, remember the question earlier is about how do I protect myself against damages to my magnetic field? Your kung fu, your samadhi level is your best protection. Okay, the higher your skill level, the less likely that you'll be adversely affected. Okay, long-term effects, and the quicker you recover. So I would not worry about it. It's not the end of the world. Okay. However, I just need you to be aware of it, that you exposing yourself, your body to you damaging your bodies. So be careful. I do not like EVs in general, but if that's how it is, it's a necessary evil. We have to live with it, and the best protection is Chan meditation. Period. Okay. Yes, 5.
Oh, Master, I'm no materials engineer, but I believe that they could come up with some kind of insulation feature on the underneath of a EV that would insulate you. No?
I Googled it, okay? I Googled it, and apparently it's not possible to put a shield around the magnetic field.
Really?
It's not possible. There's no materials. And if there's such materials, it's extremely expensive. It's unaffordable for the ordinary Joes like us. It's way beyond our range. Okay? So it's not a whole lot you can do except recharge yourself, restore yourself, repair yourself. Just the same. You go out every day, the ultraviolet rays are harming your body, destroying your skin and cell structures and so forth. We meditate and we recover. Okay? That's part of life. I would not be horribly worried about it. Okay? But be aware of it so that you know what it takes. You get on an EV, make sure you give yourself time to recover, to recharge. Okay? That's important. It's a necessary evil. To tell you the truth, I have a lot of disciples that have Priuses, and I do not want to get on a Prius even, let alone an EV. Prius is a smaller battery. Okay? I avoid those things when I can. Okay. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Yes. Number 2.
Master, what if you're on a flight and then you're drained after a flight? Is it good to just meditate and that recharges you?
Yes. When you get to a flight, sometimes you have no choice of neighbors. I'm told nowadays, and some airplane seats, you have to pay to have an aisle seat or window seat. Anyone? I heard of it recently. The airlines are charging us everything nowadays, surcharges and everything, as if they're not making enough money. But anyway, when you go in close proximity with people, that's when the drain is a lot faster. It's like you put 2 glasses together, okay, and you connect them, then it levels off. The water level levels off. The same, similarly, when you are near people, that's when there is a leveling of energy naturally. When you're near your child, it's a leveling of energy. If you need energy from a long days of work, and you go home and your child is full of energy, you hug her and you get some energy from her. That's a very quick way to recharge. Okay? Unless you meditate first before you hug your child, so that you are not taking energy from your child. Okay? Be aware of that. Okay? So you learn to meditate so that you are more aware of the energy level. You realize that just like we are like EVs. Okay? We need, when we meditate, we we are packing energy into our battery around your navel right there. Okay, that's what our battery is. Okay, it packs energy into it. Okay, and then throughout the day we utilize it. Okay, and it depletes it, and then we meditate, and it recharges it. Okay, that's how it works with us as well. We are EVs as well. Yes, Q&A.
Thank you, Master. The reason for me I haven't buy a electric car yet is because of the moral reason. Because I feel like, from what I know, to mine the lithium, in the third world country, there's a lot of children and poor people have to work like under very rough and really bad condition. And not only that, if the battery run out or something is wrong, we end up throwing it to the third world country too. So that's the main reason why. So I hope that they solve that problem before 2030.
Yes, there's when you talk about that the EV technology, there are lots of problems there as well. Hopefully they'll work it out. They resolve these issues. There are new electric motors that have been shown on a small scale not to use those rare earth elements that the Chinese control. The Chinese have been buying into all sorts of mines in Colombia, in Peru, and everywhere, where they basically still control 60-70% of the supplies. And that's how it is. They're smarter than us. Therefore, they should profit from it. But their technology, they're being proven at a small scale. Small electric motors who do not need those rare earth elements, and they are increasing in scale. Maybe, hopefully, in the future there will be electric motors that are good enough to drive cars without using rare earth elements, those special things. It's just a matter of time. Okay, we can figure it out ourselves. Yes, 8.
Master, the EV is the solution to global warming. That's what they try to solve. But the global warming has to do with karma. So all this thing that they're doing is, I don't know if it's going to work or not, right? Because the root cause is karma. If they want to solve it, wouldn't they solve at the root?
Yeah, preferably we try to solve at the root, but the world doesn't believe in karma. So what are we going to do? There's so much you can do. Okay, we in the Dharma ending age where the world is being destroyed gradually by the demons. That's the way it is. Like it or not, we're going through the phase of decay right now. To the point where eventually the world will be destroyed. Okay, what we do in our little corners of the world is slowing down the process where we are. That's all we can do, and that's called. So that's the difference we're making. Look at how many of you are here practicing Chan, okay, and learning about being responsible and contributing and so forth. Okay. But it's an era of destruction, of decay. All we can do is slow it down. We cannot reverse it. Okay? That's the way it is. So that's why, as long as you still have a chance, try your best to make a difference. And then when your time is up, go to the Pure Land. That's it. Okay, that's the big picture. Okay, it's no point hanging on to this world here. This world here is coming to an end. Okay, after this life, go to the Pure Land. That's the best place possible for you. Okay, and that's where you can make a huge difference. We'll never suffer again. And help more. Okay? All right. Anyone else? It's a very challenging world. I mean, let me tell you, when I was a novice monk, I went to the best possible temple, training-wise, in Master Hsuan temples, because he had the technology, the know-how on how to train people, and not in terms of concept, but in terms of results. His disciples are accomplished people, Chan practitioners. Their Chan level is very, very high. Okay, but what I found when I joined that group of his disciples is I found them to be disappointing. Okay, in what sense? From where I came from a business world, if you talk to me like that, you will lose my interest very quickly. My point is that what we do here is a lot more involved than you think. My master, Master YongHua, brought the Chan training technology, but he's Chinese. He doesn't really know how to train his disciples in contributing to society, the Western society, if you will. So it's never an emphasis on, to me, what's lacking in his Chan program is that it's not an emphasis on our responsibility to make a difference in the world because we want to leave a better world for our children, for our nephews and nieces and grandchildren. That's important to us. Yes, it's decaying. Yes, it's being destroyed, but we still want to try our best, okay, to help them. And it takes that kind of mindset in Mahayana to me to be true Mahayana. That's why I call them Hinayana Mahayana. Okay, it's because yes, they know how to meditate, they know how to cultivate, but they don't know, they're not trained to help others. And I've seen the same thing. My disciples, they get up there, got high level and they are, but they don't realize that it's not the end of the training. The training continues because they need to learn to work with others. Okay, my master, Master YongHua, was able to build this thing that made a difference for people like me, my generation. Okay, but for my generation, but his disciples, my generation, they're not able to really work with others. That's really Hinayana mindset. Now, Hinayana people never learn how to work with others. And what you don't realize, I'm slowly and invisibly training you how to work with others. That's part of the training. Otherwise, it's not Mahayana. Okay? It shows. I judge his disciples by what kind of team they have around them. You cannot do everything yourself. You have to build a team to get it done. Where I came from is called management structure. You have to manage people, train managers, replace yourself, and so forth. You have to understand how to do it. Okay? If you want to make it happen, it has to be like that. Okay? And so that's why I saw it as part of the Chinese Chan will not thrive in our environment in the 21st centuries because they are ill-equipped to serve society. And in the Chinese style, in the Chinese Chan, they're there and society is supposed to serve them. Okay, they put on a pedestal when people come and worship and respect them. It's no longer the case in our era. We have to earn our way. Okay, we have to justify our existence and not expect to be and not feel entitled. Your generation is a generation of entitlement. You say, I'm entitled to this, I'm supposed to succeed, I'm supposed to have all these abilities. You told me I'm there. I'm supposed to have these abilities. Say, seriously? So how you get those abilities? You don't develop it yourself. I'm supposed to give them to you? Huh? Loser? So here's the problem, okay? You boys and girls may be higher levels than Master Hsuan disciples, but you still cannot work together. Don't know how to work together. Okay? And you cannot go very far. You cannot have a far-reaching influence. You cannot make a big difference unless you build a team around you. New concept for you today. Team building. You have to learn to work with others. That's part of Chan as well. Learn to work with your children, learn to work with your spouses, learn to work with your neighbors, learn to work with your colleagues. Okay? That's Chan as well. Chan is not only by yourself. The Chan we're teaching you is engaged Chan. It's the 6 parameters, the Chan of the 6 parameters of giving, of morality, of patience, of vigor, of samadhi, of wisdom. Because of that, that's why you can go a lot further. If you don't have that vision, you'll be just like Master YongHua, the Chinese. Okay? They cannot get very far. Okay? That's my challenge to you. Open your mind, open your heart. Okay? We're doing this because we want to contribute. We want to help. We want to make a difference and try to make a difference and try and improve ourselves to make a bigger contribution. That's how we improve. Okay? We improve so that we can make a bigger difference. You can help more. Build a better mousetrap, if you will. Okay? But along with that, those of you who are more Hinayana might say, well, that's too much. I just want to get through the day here. And I will tell you, this Chan here is also a way for you to learn how to be in control of your life. That's why on slide 19 here, they abide, these people who have studied, who figure out their ego, okay? How to put an end to their ego, to the selfishness. They can abide in unconditioned, meaning that they no longer are creating bad karmas in the world. They no longer are destructive. At a small scale, they are no longer creating harm to their children, to their spouses, because of their selfishness. I want you to have this sense of moral responsibility. We doing this because as we continue to improve in a way of American Chan, we are helping our families. I'm not talking about knowledge. I'm talking about actually doing something to benefit our children, our families, our parents. Okay? That's important to us. Quietly. We don't brag about it, but that's what we do, day in, day out. And we're never appreciated for that. People don't know we're doing that. But we abide in the unconditioned, meaning that we are no longer creating evil karmas. Only good karmas, no evil karmas. Okay? And we live our way in a way of life is a way of leisure, meaning that we are in control of our projects. We are no longer overwhelmed by life, by external pressure. That's what's meant by leisure. Xian in Chinese is translated as leisure. Leisure not in a sense of the Western sense of leisure in terms of self-indulgence, in terms of laziness. I am lazy, okay? But I'm not a leisurely person, okay? Leisure in our English, the English word has a connotation of laziness, like me, okay? Leisure here, in the Chinese sense, the leisure of being unpressured, not pressured by the external world. Okay? Yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. So we can say that maybe it's like self-mastery?
Yes. Leisure here at the 4th stage Arhat, where they are talking about right now, and that's what I encourage you to shoot for. Don't think it's too far for you. Anyone can reach it. Okay? At the stage of 4th stage Arhat where you put an end to your ego, then you understand what leisure is. Okay? Because who's stressed out? Who's pressured? Who's feeling pressure? The ego feels stressed out. The ego feels pressured, right? So when there's no more ego, there's no one left who feels pressured, who feels compelled to do things. That's when you understand the concept of xian, leisure. No pressure. No one can pressure you. Only you can pressure yourself. No one else can. How do you pressure yourself? You pressure yourself by, this is the difference between beyond the way of leisure. When you get to this level, way of leisure here, then I want to teach you to pressure yourself. Don't dwell in the way of leisure, like here. This is for losers. Okay? Chinese losers, Chinese standards. Any Chinese here today? Okay? This is Chinese standards. Say, oh, I made it, I'm a success. No. This is just one milestone. And after that, you go into the world of self-pressure. Not external pressure, but self-pressure. Meaning that you motivate yourself to create a better mousetrap. Quietly. No one's forcing you, but that's what we do. In our ways, our little corners of the world, in our little ways, we are creating better mousetraps. Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. I just have a comment in regards to the person who doesn't want to hear that other people are improving and so forth. Maybe it's just me, but it helps me to hear that other people are succeeding. It helps me strive to work harder. So I don't know how you can balance the two, but maybe somehow still let us know once in a while that we're improving, because it encourages us to keep going. Thank you.
Okay. That's why I keep on talking about how many people are improving. Is because I know it helps you, it motivates you. Just because one loser feels that, he is entitled to improving more than others. That kind of nonsense. Go ahead, throw tantrums, see if I care. Okay. So let me go back to the concept of self-pressure here. The leisure here, okay, is that you are no longer pressured by the outside, but so that now you have the choice to go after your projects of interest. You see? So it doesn't stop here. Doesn't mean you live in leisure. Doesn't mean that you become irresponsible and say, "Oh, I am in control of my life. No one can pressure me. I can retire." Oh God, I don't see how people can retire. Only losers retire. Okay? Wait. Wasn't I planning on retiring soon? Yes, 8.
When you explain this, it seemed like there's wisdom. The person who reached to this point have great wisdom as well. So with wisdom, they were able to navigate the environment, the setting, and they can do things more efficiently. So the leisure, is that part of the leisure description here?
Not quite. I would not call these people having wisdom yet. My wisdom standard is a lot higher than that. Okay, this is Hinayana level wisdom, which I don't look at it as really wisdom. Okay, what I'm talking about is these people can no longer be pressured by you, by me, by anyone. They're at that state. Okay, and now, so what do we do when you no longer feel the pressure? Now you have to learn to pressure yourself. Otherwise, you are a vegetable. You're useless to society. Okay, so what happens in our world, in Mahayana world, we bring you to this point where no one can pressure you. So you're in control of your life. Unlike at low levels, the outside world, others dictate your life. Yes? In this state here of the 4th stage Arhat, or a little bit higher on practical Buddhahood, no one can pressure them. And therefore, it is imperative that they have to commit to pressure themselves. How? Why? Because out of compassion, they have to remember where they came from, like us. They used to suffer. They used to be pressured. They used to be stressed out. You used to be miserable. You used to have pain, a lot of pain and suffering. And once you get there, you should look back and say, wow, I got this far here. Okay? I'm above this all. And therefore, I should have compassion for my daughter, for my son. Yes? Because if I can help myself, it's still not enough. I care too much for my daughter. I care too much for my son for me to stop. I need now to pick a project so that I pressure myself to contribute, so that I can make a difference for them. Make a difference for the people you care for the people that you have compassion for. That's what this is about. Okay? It's out of compassion, out of kindness and compassion. That's the principle number 7. Now, my master didn't teach them, and teach my generation. You go through the 6 principles, you get to this state of way of leisure, but then you say, okay, I'm done. I'm reminding you, you are not done yet. you need to practice kindness and compassion along the way. So when you get there, okay, you no longer feel the pressure, the heat from outside, okay, but the heat comes from inside. You say, oh, I see how wonderful it is for me. I want to make sure that the one I care for, the people I love and care for, can also experience this. So I have to work harder than before. Because before, I only have to worry about myself. Now I have to worry about my son, my daughter, my father, my mother, my ancestors. It's a lot more I need to help than just myself. Is that clear? So actually, at the way of leisure here is that they choose to have, to go about their business leisurely. Okay? They no longer are compelled to do these things. However, they choose to exert themselves in order to help others, to make a difference. This is our ideals in Chan. And high level, and I remind you, monks and nuns and lay people, high level, that's when you simply need to work better with others and do team building, acquire worldly knowledge. Okay? And that's how you continue to grow and become a better person. Make a bigger difference in the world. Continue to build better and better mousetraps. Yes, Brady, did you have a question earlier, sir? That's the last question here today, 5.
I was just going to add to what Vicky said about the individual that has animosity towards somebody improving. Remember, by mind we're all connected, so you are the head and you're chastising your tail for improving and being better. And don't forget that that means that you'll be better too.
Yep. Pitiful, isn't it? Yeah. And all you can think of is just me. And why are they better and why am I not better? The Mahayana is something called 水洗功德, tùy hỷ công đức, meaning that when you see people get good things, come into good things, win the super lotto, win you should be happy for them. Don't say, why not me? Why not me? Oh, yeah. If good things happen to people, enjoy. This is, be happy for them. This is why I like it when it's hot here, people come get up after they sit there, open the window, turn on the fan, make sure the people are comfortable and so forth. That's a mindset. Make a small difference in your little world. We're very humble. We're not trying to, change the world here. Just build a better mousetrap. That's all. Okay, help a little bit more. Well, we added. Yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. I remember when you were explaining the 4, I don't remember, the 4 noble truths, the kindness, compassion, joy, and renunciation from Master YongHua. You said that the only way we can kill that jealousy, that envy inside of us is by being joyful for others' accomplishment.
Yeah, absolutely. But to be fair to this loser here, okay, who's envious and who's jealous and who's, why not me? Okay, you know why it happened? Mental sickness. Lots of it. That's why. It's okay. Embrace these people. Okay, thank you, everyone. Let's go have lunch. Okay, let's go eat, huh?